A heated new exchange on Twitter between former Baltimore Ravens champion safety Bernard Pollard Jr. and NFL superstar Lamar Jackson has reignited the debate as to how big of a contract extension the former MVP actually deserves. Since Jackson is now entering the fifth and final year of his rookie deal, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the state of play on a contract extension between the Ravens and the dynamic quarterback. Firstly, the Twitter exchange. It all started when Bernard Pollard claimed online that no top wide receiver would ever willingly choose to come to Baltimore so long as Lamar Jackson was the starting quarterback. The context was that none of them wanted to play with Jackson due to his deficiencies as a passer. The two continued to trade jabs back and forth in an intense Twitter war of words, which the American sports TV personality Skip Bayless labeled as extremely disappointing on part of the 2019 NFL MVP. Pollard's original tweet, which ignited the Twitter clash between him and Jackson, was actually in response to a recent NFL quarterback ranking by ESPN. In an article posted by Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, he had listed the league's top 10 quarterbacks for 2022 as voted on by coaches, executives, and players. Jackson didn't make the cut. Instead, he earned an honorable mention. When explaining why Jackson was absent from the ranking, Fowler said the quarterback's stats from last season had hurt his standing, as well as talking about how his rushing ability may not hold up in the long run. He also said that keeping a quarterback with a 37-12 record as a starter and an MVP award off a top 10 list is surprising, but that's what's more than half of the voters did. Second, is Lamar actually a top 10 quarterback? Jackson did struggle a lot in his last 3 full games with 6 interceptions and 13 sacks as teams blitzed him heavily, and he missed the last month of the season due to an ankle injury, fueling further concern about how his running style would hold up long term. Former Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl champion Ryan Clark was baffled by Jackson's snub by coaches, league executives, and players. He said that Lamar doesn't just fit what the Baltimore Ravens do, Lamar is what the Baltimore Ravens do. That's why it was mind-boggling that he wasn't ranked in the top 10. According to him, he wasn't just a system quarterback because he was the system. American sports television personality Nick Wright also wasn't totally sold on the idea that Jackson wasn't a top 10 QB in the NFL. Still, Wright did acknowledge later that while he had Lamar as one of the top 10 best quarterbacks, he currently falls in the bracket of a great regular season quarterback who still has doubts surrounding his ability to deliver during playoff time. It's definitely true that Lamar Jackson could certainly use some help, some assistance from a roster of publicists, agents, and managers who call themselves Team Lamar, and the sole purpose of this Team Lamar should be to flood the mainstream with commercials featuring their number one guy. Next, let's look at the statistics. Through 4 seasons, Jackson has had a 64.1 completion percentage, 9,967 yards, and 84 touchdowns on 852 regular season passing attempts. This equates to 7.5 yards per attempt, an almost 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and a 98.1 NFL passer rating. However, Jackson has taken a worrying 105 sacks during this time. The former league MVP has rushed for 3,671 yards and 21 touchdowns on 456 regular season attempts. However, Jackson has had an alarming 38 fumbles across those 4 regular seasons. While it's pretty hard to argue with this sort of elite-level regular season production, the concern over Jackson taking over the starting role midway through his rookie season, going on to become the youngest NFL quarterback to start a playoff game at the age of 21, has been whether he can perform at a similar level come postseason. The former Louisville quarterback's postseason passing numbers are all down on his usual regular season production. He has recorded a 55.9 completion percentage and 900 yards on 136 postseason attempts. However, even more concerning is the fact that Jackson has a negative touchdown to interception ratio and has taken 19 sacks while posting a below average 68.3 NFL passer rating. However, the Florida native has slightly better production on the ground in the playoffs, having rushed for 367 yards on 38 attempts, up from 6.0 in the regular season, but he's only scored 1 rushing touchdown while committing 5 fumbles. These statistics certainly support the notion that thus far in his career, the former first-round draft pick has failed to deliver in the postseason, when the quality of opposition increases and so does the pressure, with only 1 win from 4 playoff appearances. Plus, what do executives have to say about him? According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, one NFL offensive coach said that while Jackson has improved throwing the ball, there's still concerns over whether he can actually stay healthy and find ways to win tight playoff games with such a reliance on his running ability. The coach said that it was hard to stay healthy when you're running that much, but Jackson had actually gotten a lot better as a passer. Fowler said that an NFC personnel evaluator questioned Jackson's ability to hold up in the postseason after a long season of carrying such a heavy burden in Baltimore's offense. The evaluator further commented that he was innately driven, competitive, and mentally tougher than just about anybody he'd met. And what's his market value? Recent history shows that with each passing off season, there seems to be a new benchmark set for quarterback contracts in the league. While it's not known which party is more to blame when it comes to the holdup on a new contract between the Ravens and their presumed franchise quarterback for the next decade. What's clear is that the longer this saga drags on, the more the market value is likely to go up. First, there was Russell Wilson, who signed a 4-year, $140 million extension with the Seattle Seahawks in April 2019 that included a $65 million signing bonus and $107 million of total guarantees. At the time of the deal, it was the highest average paid contract, most total guarantees, and the biggest signing bonus in NFL history. Then came the baseball-style, decade-long mega deal for the consensus new face of the league in Patrick Mahomes, who signed a 10-year, $450 million contract with the Kansas City Chiefs in July 2020, including $141.5 million guaranteed. The following offseason, Dak Prescott got his long-awaited 4-year, $160 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys in March 2021, including a new record $66 million signing bonus and $126 million guaranteed. A few months later, gunslinger Josh Allen signed a 6-year, $258 million contract with the Buffalo Bills in August 2021, including $150 million guaranteed. But all these contracts were blown out of the water when the Cleveland Browns traded for former Houston Texans first draft pick Deshaun Watson. They signed him to a huge 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract. It's the largest guaranteed contract in NFL history by some distance, exceeding Allen and Rodgers' number by almost $80 million, and clearly sets the new market for top-tier quarterback compensation. Prior to Watson's contract being finalized, there were many different ways for teams and agents to haggle about a top-of-the-market contract for a quarterback. They could look at terms, structure, signing bonus, late and early cash flow, security and length of guarantees, bonus forfeiture protections, and much more. That haggling for top quarterbacks now shouldn't be necessary. There's no argument whatsoever over what the top of the NFL quarterback market looks like. It looks like what Watson has got. So what's the current contract situation? Lamar Jackson is pretty much set to enter the final year of his rookie contract after the Baltimore Ravens exercised his final year option last offseason. It's highly unusual for a quarterback of Jackson's caliber to make it to the final year of their rookie deal without their franchise locking them up in a new long-term contract. The 25-year-old signal caller has been eligible for an extension for over a year, but according to Ari Mirov of Pro Football Focus, he's reportedly been in no rush to get to the negotiating table. Mirov said that this entire situation was probably the biggest mystery in league circles, since Jackson's been doing all of this without a certified NFLPA agent. Every agent he's spoken to wouldn't have let him step foot on the field last season without a new deal, but still waiting isn't looking like a terrible move after all, as the market has climbed to new levels over the past year with new deals for Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford, plus Kyler Murray is all set to come in next. Jackson's risking potential injury and all the security that comes with a mega quarterback contract, but working in his favor is the recent precedent set by Prescott, who played under the franchise tag back in 2020 prior to signing a massive new deal, despite suffering from a serious ankle injury which ended his season. While Jackson is without a doubt a dynamic player with dual threat ability, the question remains if the Ravens give him a mega contract he's reportedly seeking, can he actually be the quarterback to lead Baltimore, a franchise that has a rich history of playoff success, to their elusive third Lombardi trophy? And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Lamar Jackson still being without a deal? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.